Hey YouTube, this is Ben Gessel. How's it going? It's April 26th, 2019. Um, I'm just going to do a little walk around the neighborhood and have you come with me. And I remember doing some of these a while back, a bit more of them. I usually do them more in warmer months now. Um, I haven't done them in this way for a while, I suppose. Maybe a few of them recently, but just had a woodwind quintet rehearsal, and I had my piece. I like to do suites for woodwind quintet, so multiple movements, no particular set form. I'm sorry, these are all musical terminology types of things. So a suite is just a collection of pieces that are a little bit more unrelated from each other, more variety, but they're all connected via some central concept or story or something. And form in music is just how you organize a single piece of music in terms of if it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ideas or melodies, or if they're through composed, which is clear beginning, middle, and end, or if it's like a little idea that doesn't really have an end, it's just kind of short, kind of idea, that sort of thing. That's what I'm talking about. But aside from that, that's what I did just more recently tonight. And so a lot of music I'm writing for my woodwind quintet. It's going very well. And, I think I've stuck with this is, as far as ensembles go, playing in the Emerald Wind Quintet. So flute, oboe, clarinet, French horn, bassoon. It's, I think I've been in this group for several years now, quite a while. It's 2019, I joined, I think 2000, gosh, it hasn't been 10 years, but maybe it has been. It's been quite a while. And it's been great. I mean, I've written a fair amount of music just for woodwind quintet for them, and it's been one of my steady ensembles, other than playing in Seattle Ensign Orchestra and Fly Symphony and some other stuff as well a while back. So that wasn't all just what I wanted to talk about. Maybe some other stuff, but I guess the main thing is it's just perhaps what's more on my mind is a little bit more of what I've been watching on YouTube, actually. And so this is kind of a little bit of a variety video, I suppose. And when I started kind of watching more YouTube videos, I mean, it's been a slow process a while back. I guess I remember watching more kind of just stuff about music, starting around. I mean, I was watching little things here and there, probably. The last year I was at Central Washington University. I'm back in about 2006 or so, and anyway, but yeah, I was more music oriented about YouTube for the most part, up until I think 2000. Oh, I don't know, 8 or no, it was 2010 or 11. Right in that ballpark. I started getting more into some of the content that was being made, for YouTube, other than music. It might have been a slow process. By the time we got to 2014, 15, I was already, I think, had quite a number of YouTube channels I was subscribed to. And I was watching Jack Vale, and I was watching, I don't know, there's probably a few others. But there was kind of a prank era, I suppose. I was really into prank videos on YouTube. And that's still fun, but I think its heyday is, I don't know, it might still have some more heydays in the future. But, so I know about a lot of the pranksters on YouTube. But I've been watching a lot of Shea show actually, and um, I'm not really sure. There is a humorous side to this, I suppose. This train of thought I have. I don't know if it's humorous or if it's just. I'm not really sure how to describe it. I know it's benevolent. I know it's great. I know it's like thumbs up. I know it's a positive thing. So, but gosh, how do I explain this train of thought I have? I guess it goes something like this. So, when I was a little boy, meeting everybody that I met in school, knowing everybody that I knew, it was great where I grew up because there was people of every background, and I've talked about some intercultural kinds of things before in some of my other videos. So you can watch them; they're all in there. I still have a lot of other things that I haven't mentioned that I wanted to do videos on still in the future, of course. But that'll happen when it happens. I'll have plenty of time this summer. Should not have a busy summer. It should be great. But great to get a lot of YouTube content out there. A lot of stuff that I've been meaning to do. So, but the thing is, I just, I don't, I had great, I had friends that were black, I had friends that were white, I had friends that were other races. I didn't really, I kind of sensed what the general black culture was, at least Afro-American culture. I kind of knew what that was. I had growing kind of awareness of that by the time I was, maybe 9 or 10. Before then it was pretty vague, but 9, 10, 11, 12 is kind of getting a little bit more aware of black culture a little bit, and very much white suburbia for me, for the most part, pretty much. So it's all the kids I knew that were black, for the most part. I mean, most of them were very nice suburban, American, just American. A few guys that. But the funny thing is, even when talking about black culture, Afro-American culture, there's more than one culture, obviously. But the one that people usually assume that you're talking about isn't. Maybe it's either the more church-going, older Southern culture that's black, or maybe it's the gangsta culture, the inner city thug culture. Everybody abhors, right, including black folks. So, and they wish that they didn't have to have that side to their culture, which is, let's be honest, it's just inner city. Anyway, but it's just that when with this channel, watching the Shea show, I have thought a bit about these sorts of things again. And I keep having this feeling that, yeah, we can say what we want to about our gut feelings about different sorts of people. I think that kind of train of thought will likely keep going in its general nature, for the most part, until we have some more clarifications about this sort of subject from God himself that maybe we've always been wondering about, but we've never really known for sure. But in the meantime, we try to get along with each other and try to love each other as best we can. But so Shea talks about all kinds of stuff, and he reminds me of some people I've known. But as you could probably guess, from what the two cultures I described, they're two different cultures. I do mean different. They might have some things in common because they're both black, but they are still very different. And there are others as well, but these are maybe the first two that come to mind. There are definitely other cultures as well. We all know this, but there's also very much a East or Midwest, Rust Belt, whether it's Southern or Rust Belt or Eastern, there's very much a black culture that is older. It's an older kind of culture. It's like the parent culture, and it's more based in the Rust Belt for sure, in the South especially. St. Louis, Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, Washington D.C., Baltimore, Atlanta. There's that definite culture, which I've often been very fond of, actually, because they try to do what's right and they go to church and all that stuff. That's all that good stuff. And then, but it's a different culture. It's a different culture than the gang culture, right, of inner cities. Now there are also Hispanic gangs and white gangs. We know this. We know. So I don't have to explain this. But the gang culture is kind of. So Shea talks about this a lot, and it's one of the things that I picked up on is that it's kind of a thing where the more you have in inner cities, the more you have a very discouraging kind of life. There's just nothing really to live for, nothing to shoot for. Or it might seem that way. And the more these problems keep continuing, and they always seem to be getting worse, actually, and worse with time. The question is, when is it going to end? And why do they keep getting worse? And so Shea's been asking this question. He's been getting into this a lot. And by the way, Shea Show is all about, on the surface, it's about real estate and, doing repair work basically for houses and inspecting houses and that sort of thing. But he talks about all kinds of stuff. He shows you what Detroit is like, or Detroit. Yeah. Oh yeah. So it can be eye-opening at times. But my train of thought mainly is this: it's inner cities tend to not attract people that want to do better in life. They tend to attract people that don't want to achieve things in life. And so that has to change. But it's going to take more than what's being done at present to really change. And in my opinion, you're going to have people that are first, you're going to have great businesses that want to support black folks and want black folks to be in their businesses and even in senior positions. But you need more capital. You need more companies moving in to give people more employment opportunities that are ready for it. Whoever can. And you're going to need more, not just black people, but people that want to live in these cities. You need more people that want to strengthen their communities to move in as well, to buy up these houses, to deal with the gangs, whether it's, and you're going to need that money to support the police so the police can get their tushes in gear more. I'm not saying it's the police's fault. I'm just saying police are very undermanned and understaffed and underpaid, so they're one of the probably lowest morales in the whole United States. Being a Detroit cop, you're gonna need all this, and you're gonna need actually every bit of goodwill and friendship and kindness and financial help and spiritual help. It's gonna be a massive undertaking, and it's just not going to happen immediately. But it has to come from every dimension of life. And a lot of this is this idea that you want to be able to escape, get away from inner cities. Well, I think maybe we've got to a point in the United States where maybe that just shouldn't be the case anymore. Maybe what we need to do is reclaim the inner cities. Maybe just, there's something having to do with just people going to the inner city in numbers so that nobody gets beat up and that sort of thing. Armed, right? Police escorts if need be. I don't know. Just go talk to people. Just go mingle with them. But it needs to be something where it's like this daily thing. Everybody, not just, and it can't be like a fake thing. It can't be seen as fake. It's got to be people that just want to help people. And it can't be about, here, go to this church or go to, it can't really be that so much. I mean, I can see the side to that, sure, but it's, why do I feel like that's one of the solutions? Is that it has to be everybody and everything coming together and working together? Because if you just have, I mean, problems are so bad in the cities, it seems like. In my opinion, African Americans in the United States, if they were to try to solve these problems alone in the inner cities, it would be impossible. I don't think they have the manpower, resources. You can do it if every single good family that was black decided to spend some serious time in their cities. Maybe it might work. Maybe, but I know it has to be more than that. It has to be Mexican, white, Asian, Indian, everybody. And you have to. I mean, you have to literally arm people. Go to every single drug house and every single gang house. You have to have a lot of very beyond stern chats with some of these guys. Police with them, and maybe, I don't know, intervention kinds of meetings. Maybe we're talking about, in some cases, just having people that are trained in martial arts and black belts, etc., going down with police escorts, and police are the only ones that should be, getting physically involved in these cases. But what I'm trying to say is, some things would be rather dangerous. It's true, but that's what has to happen in order for a real lasting change to occur. Especially, let me just do a little loop here. Especially if it's a financial, it has to be both financial investment, and it has to come from not just, if it's only some, but it can't be just some. It has to be a lot, and it has to be something where everyone's saying, we want to make Detroit like it once was. Why did it deteriorate? Well, it deteriorated because of all the auto industries moving out or going bankrupt, or Japan taking over, right? All that stuff. So there's that side to this, but you also have to, we all need to think really deeply about these things. We all have to say, what's really going to work long term? And we can't just be, I don't know why the U.S. military thought that Iraq would just become another United States. I don't know why I certainly didn't think that. I think we liked the idea of a evil dictator being ousted, but sometimes I think we were fed a lie. In some respects. Saddam was not a good man, but anyway. So you have to just be like, okay, so you cannot fix a problem if you don't get at the roots. You have to get at the roots. The roots of Detroit's problems are what? Most everybody's unemployed, or most people are unemployed, and most people don't care about very much at all. What is there to live for? Eating, drinking, and having sex, or sleeping, or it's like meaningless. And so nobody respects. When most people live on welfare, that's what happens. It's not just, look, I've seen it in other places, in other cultures before. We don't have to get into that, but I've definitely seen that in other cultures before. When the government just supports people, and you just have welfare checks come to you, you just lose a lot. you just don't care. And so, you know, I understand what Shea's talking about. And, you know, it has to be, if we're going to fix Detroit, it has to be everybody. Everybody needs to try to do something. And it's the same deal with East St. Louis. It's the same deal with South Chicago. Even though these places aren't quite as bad as Detroit, maybe. Same deal as Baltimore, same deal as Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Compton, wherever. All the homeless in San Francisco, Seattle, LA. Similar deal. I'm talking about a different kind of thing, maybe, but it's also economic. Of course, maybe I've mentioned that concern I have a little bit, but yep, I definitely pass by beggars when I'm driving. I definitely cannot stop. I often feel kind of bad, but everyone's quick to say that someone might have crocodile tears for thinking something like that way, and all I can say is if you were going to get in a car accident because you're trying to stop to help somebody, I don't think that that's a crocodile tear moment. Anyway, so I hope Shea is doing well, and his videos are great. And by all means, if you guys, so this is my last point. You don't have to be black to like black stuff. Sometimes people wonder why you're not, why you're white and you're watching a black channel or watching black entertainment television, BT or whatever. It makes me laugh in a good way, but I'm like, I still think our humanity, the things that unite us between different kinds of people, it's so much stronger than anything racial. And he's a really good man, and he has a lot of good content, and I think you guys need to check out his channel. So definitely check out the Shea Show, SHEA, Shea Show. And he has two different channels. He has Shea Real Talk, and then he has his other real estate channel. So anyway, hopefully you guys like this video. I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Bye.